Happy Friendship Day to everyone. Thank God for keeping us safe for the past 7 months of the year. Today is Friendship Day in India, and so it is a very special day, especially for people in India. We all grow up with friends, and today we have more friends than we realize. If you check your phone contact list, friends in your Facebook, Twitter, etc., you will know how many friends you have. Today, being Friendship Day, I would like to speak on the theme Characteristics of True Friendship. It is my prayer that this sermon will help us to strengthen our friendship in life. International Friendship Day. It is said that Joyce Hall, the founder of Hallmark cards, introduced the concept of Friendship Day by printing cards for friends in the United States of America in 1919. The term Friendship Day, however, was coined by Dr. Braco from Paraguay in 1958. Gradually, Friendship Day is observed on different days in different countries. Recognizing the importance of friendship, in 2011, the United Nations declared 30 July as International Day of Friendship. In India, however, Friendship Day is observed on the first Sunday of August each year, and so is today. As a tradition, people exchange flowers, cards, and wristbands with their friends on Friendship Day. Importance of friendship. Who is a friend then? A friend is someone who you know well, at least for some time, and you like to hang around with. Humans are social beings, for we live with one another in the society. As members of society, we all grow up with friends as young boys and girls. We have circle of friends in our schools, in our colleges, in our workplaces, and in our neighborhood. Friends are important in life because we need friends to talk to, share our burdens, and share jokes and have fun with. Some people may have more friends, others may have lesser friends, but the fact is that we all need friends and we have friends. The many friends we have may be broadly classified into two categories, namely close friends and casual friends. How many friends do you have? Indeed, friends are life treasures. Characteristics of true friendship. There are few characteristics of true friendship. We shall now examine some of the major characteristics of true friendship. First, love and trust your friends. The first characteristic of a true friendship is to love and trust your friend. We have stories of friends both in the Old Testament and in the New Testament. But I like the friendship story of Jonathan and David, which is found in 1 Samuel chapters 18 to 20. Jonathan was one of the sons of King Saul. David was a servant of King Saul. David used to play the lyre, a stringed musical instrument, for King Saul in his palace. Of all the servants of the king, Prince Jonathan loved David the most. Samuel tells us that Jonathan, the son of King Saul, loved David as his own soul. Samuel writes, "Then Jonathan made a covenant with David, because he loved him as his own soul. Jonathan stripped himself of the robe that he was wearing and gave it to David, and his armor, and even his sword, and his bow, and his belt." 1 Samuel 18, verses 3 and 4. Jonathan's love and trust for David, a servant of the king, were unthinkable. Prince Jonathan took out his robe and presented it to his friend David. Not only that, he gave his armor, his sword, his bow, and his belt. In other words, Prince Jonathan gave his full military dress and weapons to David. This shows how much Jonathan loved and trusted his friend David. Dear friends, we all have close friends and casual friends. How much do we love our friends? Unless we love our friends, we can never build true friendship. When we love our friends reciprocate and we receive the same love. It is said that Jonathan loved his friend David as he loved himself. Love for a friend also produces mutual trust for each other. Jonathan trusted David, and so he gave him all his armor and weapons. In the same manner, David loved and trusted his friend Jonathan, even when Jonathan's father was planning to kill him. Even when King Saul was hunting for his life, David spared Saul's life, not even once, but twice. 1 Samuel chapters 24 and 26. David spared the life of Saul because he was not only the anointed king, but also the father of his friend Jonathan. Love and trust mark the friendship of Jonathan and David. Do you love and trust your friends as Jonathan and David loved and trusted each other as friends? If we want to build true friendship, we must love and trust our friends. Second, support for the welfare of your friends. The second characteristic of true friendship is support for the welfare of your friend. Jonathan presented all his military armor and weapons to his friend David. David was successful wherever the king sent him with the support of his friend Jonathan. As a result, King Saul put him in charge of the army, and everyone was pleased with him. When David and King Saul were returning from war with the Philistines, the women of Israel came out to meet the king. Celebrating the success of the war, the women sang, "Saul has killed his thousands, and David his 10,000s." 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 7. When the king heard of the women's song, he was furious and became very disappointed. Since that day, King Saul became jealous of David, and he started planning to kill him. When David was playing the lyre, as usual in the palace of the king threw his spear at David, but he evaded it twice, for the Lord was with him. So King Saul sent David to fight with the Philistines, thinking that the enemies might kill him. But David always defeated the enemies, and he became more popular among the people. When Jonathan learned that his father Saul was planning to kill his friend David, he was very upset and tried everything to save his friend. As a faithful friend, Jonathan informed his friend David, "My father Saul is trying to kill you. Therefore, be on guard tomorrow morning. Stay in a secret place and hide yourself." 1 Samuel chapter 19 verse 2. Then Jonathan spoke well of David and appealed to his father to not harm David. Then the king promised, "As the Lord lives, he shall not be put to death." 1 Samuel chapter 19 verse 6. But soon the king changed his mind, and he planned to kill David again. So David confided in his friend Jonathan and told him that his life was in danger. Jonathan promised that he would do everything to save the life of his friend David. To cut the long story short, Jonathan revealed all the evil plans of his father Saul to David and enabled his friend David to escape from his father King Saul. My dear friends, do we care for the welfare of our friends, especially when they are in trouble? Many people want to become close friends of rich and powerful person to get help. But when the person is not in a position to help, many people will forget the person. This is so because the friendship is not based on love, but based on selfish personal gain. The story of Jonathan and David shows that they were close with each other in every situation. When David was in trouble, he shared his problem with his friend Jonathan. In turn, Jonathan revealed Saul's plans to kill David in order to save the life of his friend David. We must remember that Jonathan risked his life by revealing the plans of his father Saul to David. If Saul came to know that Jonathan had leaked his secret plans to David, he would never spare the life of Jonathan. In spite of the risk, Jonathan worked for the safety and supported for the welfare of his friend David. The story challenges us that we all must think and support for the welfare of our friends. We should never leave our friends when they are in trouble, but stand by them. True friends never leave their friends, but even take risk for the welfare of their friends. Thus the wisdom teacher writes, "Some friends play at friendship, but a true friend sticks closer than one's nearest kin." Proverb 18, verse 24. The third characteristic of true friendship is to forgive and correct your friends when they are wrong. We are humans and we do mistakes in life. No one is perfect in this world. Sometimes we do wrong because of our ignorance, sometimes because of our carelessness. When David learned that King Saul was so zealous of him and was after his life, he came to Jonathan and asked, "What have I done? What is my guilt? And what is my sin against your father that he is trying to take my life?" 1 Samuel chapter 20 verse 1. David wanted to know if he had done anything wrong, even unintentionally. Jonathan knew that David had not done anything wrong, and so he protected him. It is not a question of if, rather when, because we all commit mistakes in our lives. When our friends commit mistakes, we have to forgive them in order to maintain our friendship. In this regard, King Solomon writes, "One who forgives an affront fosters friendship, but one who dwells on disputes will alienate a friend." Proverb 17, verse 9. Unless we forgive our friends when they do wrong, we cannot preserve our friendship. We should not only forgive, but also correct when our friends commit mistakes. If we don't give timely correction, who knows, they may continue to do wrong even without realizing their mistakes. Therefore, King Solomon writes, "Better is open rebuke than hidden love. Faithful are the wounds of a friend. Profuse are the kisses of an enemy." Proverb 27, verses 5 and 6. Through this saying, King Solomon is exhorting us to even rebuke our friends, if necessary. Dear friends, how often do we forgive our friends when they make mistakes? How often do we fail to forgive our friends, even when they ask for forgiveness? Many a time, we are unforgiving and we harbor the grudges against our friends. Sometimes we criticize our friends as if we have never done anything wrong, or as if we will be always perfect. But the reality is that we commit mistakes in one way or the other in life. Therefore, we must forgive our friends when they do wrong as we do. If we love our friends, we should not only forgive them, but confront and correct them when they go wrong. If we keep mum, even when we know that our friends are doing or going wrong, we are not faithful to our friends. If we are true friends, we must correct them and help them to change from their wrongdoings. We must forgive our friends and also correct them when they are wrong. As we celebrate Friendship Day today, let us remind ourselves to strengthen our friendship. We have noted that we must love and trust our friends to build true friendship. We also discussed that we should support for the welfare of our friends, especially when our friends are in trouble. Finally, we noted that we should forgive and correct our friends when they go wrong. If we pay heed to these characteristics, we can build true friendship. We must realize that each of us is a friend to a friend. Thomas Aquinas wrote, "There is nothing on this earth more to be prized than true friendship." May God enable each one of us to build true friendship today. Amen.